Why wouldn't you get a bid for something that's going to be one of the most expensive things you're going to do in your life? Welcome to Dental Construction Insider, the podcast you need if you're a dentist wanting to open your own practice. I'm your host, Tommy. Today I'm with Veronica,
Hey.
co founder of 26 Dental Builders. Today we're talking about, I guess we'd call it what is it, cost plus versus getting competitive bid, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let me go to my cheat sheet here. Like getting multiple bids are going cost plus, right? Okay, so um, you know, sometimes you'll get so first of all, this episode is not going to be popular with the contractors.
Nope.
I love you guys. I work with you guys, many of you guys all the time, a lot of times, but
We were contractors too.
we were contractors too, so I understand, but this is something I don't get. So it's not gonna be popular with them, but it is what it is. I mean, we're here to be, we're here to be truthful. I mean, what we see, right? So this is the way we're breaking it down. Have you ever said, "I'm gonna get my yard cut," and you just call some random person and not ask them for a price? You just tell them they'll cut it for you, right? Or have you ever had your pool cleaned and not gotten an idea of what it costs first, right? You get bids for the most basic things, right?
For
your
a carport.
yeah,
We're,
for
we're
a
getting
construction
bids for a
type.
carport.
But
Yeah.
relating that to your build, right? It's like your lab work or supply order or equipment replacement, right? You get bids for that, right? By the same token, I can't say a contractor hasn't ever done the same. Got a price for yard work for their house, for a carport. Hasn't gotten a price for pool cleaning, right? I'm sure they get prices for that also. I mean, that's just what we do, right? So why wouldn't you get a bid for something that's going to be one of the most expensive things you're going to do in your life, right? A startup. You're writing a check for $500,000 to $1 million by the time it's all said and done. You're taking a loan out for that. I mean, it's a pretty sizable investment, right? Why would you not get competitive pricing? Why would you let a contractor say, we'll do it cost plus, we'll show you all the bids? I mean, so they're getting competitive bids from electricians, from plumbers, from air conditioning guys, from framers, right? And they're going with the best bid to be able to show you, right? I mean, why wouldn't you do that over for a general contractor, right? Some charge, 9%, some charge 17% based off what the overall cost is, right? That's a lot of difference there, for something that's $500,000 to $1 million. So, why wouldn't you get a? I don't understand it, So you're putting all this so we had a doc tell us like, hey, this contractor, premier contractor in the area, I really want to use them and stuff. It's like getting like the top of the line truck, right? The Hill Country, if it's a Chevrolet or a
Or
Lariat, if
or
it's a
going to the
Ford.
car dealership and just accepting the price that they give you.
Yeah, I mean, who does that, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
You negotiate.
I
So,
mean, nobody likes doing that, but you
no.
do it, right? It's part of the deal because you're talking $5,000, $10,000 sometimes, right? So
Yep.
and this is like 100,000, 150,000 or so. Why wouldn't you get negotiate? So you like you get competitive bids. I mean,
Right.
there's some negotiating, some value engineering, and all that, but there's all kinds of stuff. But you're locked into one guy. So a doctor says, "Hey, I really want to use this guy. He's like the premier guy in this area." I'm like, okay, so he's like walking around with with the Ariats or the Red Wings of boots, right? Of the real nice ones, right? Okay, so he's that guy of dental construction.
With
That's
the, yeah,
that's
dressed up.
cool and all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool and all, but I mean, there's really other guys that can build it just as well for less and probably even faster, right? He's not, because this guy's flooded with work, but he's like, I can't, you know, um, I don't bid against anybody else. And the worst part is you're paying for a bid. Why would you have a guy comes to your house like, I need you to let me know what it costs to do my yard service, my landscape work, and maintain it, every week or every 2 weeks. Okay, well, I'm gonna charge you. That's gonna be $200, for the bid. I'm gonna charge, and you're okay with like, okay. Or you go to the car dealer, like you said,
Hmm.
and say, I want to buy this Hill Country pickup right here, or this Lariat. They're like, okay, let me put a proposal together for you, but it's going to be $2,000 for the bid. It's like, why would you
They,
pay
yeah, they
30?
want to charge for their time, which that's the cost of doing business
I mean, I
sometimes.
understand that. I mean, right? How
Yeah.
many times do you guys put a treatment plan together and, you might get it, you might not get it, for some of you guys with the higher cases, for restorative work, whatever, there might be some administrative costs you're able to cover, but I mean, can you imagine? So, it's like a $3,000, 3,500 to $4,500 cost for them to give you a proposal. It takes them 2-3 weeks or more to put a floor plan or rough floor plan and some basic finishes in there to give you a bid, and you're like, okay, so this is okay. All right, okay, it's my plan. Okay, so you're looking at your floor plan. You're like, okay, so this is $800,000, uh, and they're like, yes, okay, and then you see the description of the divisions, but there's only a total on there that says it's
They don't break it down.
it's eight
Yeah.
hundred thousand dollars. You're like, how can you know what's missing or what you're getting,
Right.
or and then they charged you for that, and they're like, well, we're going to credit that back to the job, but it's still $800,000. So I don't understand why you would pay for a bid, why you'd be okay with that. I don't get that. And so I had a direct conversation with the doc, just like I do. I'm pretty straightforward with you guys and honest. I mean, I'm going to tell you, if it was me, what I would do. I told him, I said, okay, doc, if this was me, I would not pay for a bid. I mean, you don't go anywhere else and you ask people for some, and not and pay for the bid for them to give you a number what it's going to cost.
Estimates should be free.
Right? Can you imagine go to the salon and saying like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I got to sign this so I can give you a
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm going to charge you $20 just to look at your hair.
I'm going to charge you $20 to look at your hair and
Yeah.
tell you how I can cut it."
Crazy.
I know. So I couldn't get that. So I explained to Tim, I'm like, "Are you sure you want to do this? I mean, how long is he okay, so okay, if you're going to pay him you're willing to pay him the 3,500, whatever it is, right? And then you're going to uh, you know, how long is he going to take for that? How long is that going to
Yeah.
take? How many weeks, right? Right. And then if you don't like the bid, are you stuck with having to use him because you signed a commitment that you were going to let him give you the bid? I mean, even at that, you pay for a bid, then you sign a commitment. And then if you don't like the price, then, and if you don't like what they're willing to take out, because what they're going to start doing is taking amenities out, right? That's the first thing, right? They're going to tell you, like, oh, we don't need the cloud. You don't need the niches. You don't need, this waterfall. You don't need the fish tank. You don't need whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
Right? They start telling you you don't need those amenities. So then you're like, heck, man, I got a vanilla looking office for,
For 800,000.
yeah,
And then who knows how long? I mean,
or
okay, say they're
worse,
fast, but you can't have all three things, which is price, quality, and
speed.
speed.
Yeah.
So,
hmm Yeah, that's right. So, you know, yeah, you can only get two of the three. You
yeah.
can't ever get all three. I mean, that's just the way it is in
I guess you're
anything.
getting the quality and the speed because you're paying for the price.
You're paying for it. Yeah. Oh, that's all inclusive. Oh
Yeah.
my God, all
So if
inclusive.
there's a change order, if you decide to move a plug, say from 60 inches down to 18 inches, is there going to be a change order or is that included? You don't know.
You don't know.
And if you get a change order between a job, it's not like you're going to say, "Oh, I'm going to let you go because I'm going to hire somebody else." No, you're stuck. You're stuck with this guy. You're going to have to pay it.
Yeah.
And you have nobody there to tell you, "Hey, they're charging you way too much."
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
So,
another thing. Usually, when they have a company like that, they don't want us involved because they don't want us speaking for you or advocating for you, or asking questions.
yeah.
It's more of just asking questions. They don't want us to be that person to ask questions. I mean, we're only asking questions on your behalf to protect you, do what's best for the build, what's best for you, for your pocketbook. I mean, the bottom line, that's what we're doing. That's why we're asking those questions. So, yeah, you're kind of stuck with anything like that and all kinds of other parameters. I mean, I just don't get it. I don't
It's
get it.
different times, I guess.
Even they get competitive pricing. And there's only a few guys like that we hear around the US, even some of the best guys we work with. We work with starting from, east to west, we work with some really good contracting companies that we worked with multiple times and they're really good. You know, but we still get hired on because they still have, there's still some things that happen that, that we'll catch and we help them, and vice versa. So, you know, there's really, and they still don't do that. They still put out a competitive bid, even though they're good, and we know they're good, you
Yeah,
know. So it's just, it's interesting,
it is.
we're the ones that are kind of like, they've been around. Oh, I've been doing it for 20 years, or whatever. I don't have to do that anymore. I'm like, no, I and it's only three or four around the U.S. that we've come in contact with them.
And these
Anyhow,
contractors have been doing dental work for 30, 40 years, and somehow they still manage to not do it either to the plan. Why? Because they use different subcontractors,
yeah,
and not all of them have done dental work.
no, I know,
So that's why it's better to have four eyes instead of two on the project.
yeah. I mean, so just to kind of go back here, because I know I kind of ranted on, but this is what I'm using this space for. I'm using this space to be able to vent on some of the things that I see that I just don't understand and that I want to bring
To
to
your
light.
attention. Yeah.
Yeah, and this might be for, for other guys. We're not the only ones that do this work.
No.
So there's other guys out there that do this kind of work. I'm sure of it, right? We're not that clairvoyant. There's got to be other guys. I'm sure there is. Most of them all work for startup organizations, so they're tied in that way with them. But regardless, you know, they know what we're talking about. They know that like you get a you're you're putting out a competitive bid, and the guy reaches out to you like, hey, you're a big startup consulting firm, that has all these different divisions and got a big name, and it doesn't matter. They still reach out to you and say, hey, we're not going to bid this because we just don't put out competitive bids. We don't really have to do that anymore. We've kind of grown to be our own niche. We've got 20 years plus of experience, or 30 years of experience, and so we kind of don't really have to do that anymore.
They're
And they'll
very proud
say,
of their work.
yeah, they'll say they're dental specific, but they're not necessarily dental specific because no contractor is. They all do vet clinics, they all do med spas. They're just medical dental. So they're not dental specific. So just eliminate that word from your vocabulary right now, right? You know who's dental specific? We are. We're the
That's all we do.
only do is dental
Yeah.
offices. That's all we do. Okay. So when I have a doc reach out to me that could be working with the startup company and they have somebody in their organization that does what we do, but since we're construction specific, we don't know a little bit about this, a little bit about that, but they overlap each other because they can't have just one guy doing that specifically, which, come on, the biggest part of your budget for a startup is construction, right?
Yep.
But you have a guy that does a little this and all that, or a gal that does a little this and that, and they may be pretty good at it and being able to negotiate, at least negotiations or your marketing campaign and your other thing. But construction, the biggest checks you're going to write from yourself or your bank is the construction, right? So then this guy tells you like, hey, yeah, he doesn't want to bid, but he does a lot of jobs here in this city, and he's really good. All my friends really like him. I'm like, bottom line, Doc, is your job is almost $1 million. He's wanting to charge you, and you don't want to get a competitive bid. You know, well, he does really good work, and everybody likes him. I'm like, but that's just construction. You still have to buy, you know, IT,
Equipment,
dental equipment, supplies,
cabinets.
furniture,
Yeah.
cabinet. I mean, there's other things you have to get, right? You have to have working capital. What the hell is that? You know, right? You got it. You got other stuff you have to buy. So, I don't. Yeah. So just So I'm like, honest. Okay, Doc. Look, let's just have a quick conversation about this. Okay. So you don't think he gets competitive bids for other things? And it may be like whether he's buying a car, like you said, or he's going out and getting his yard work, his pool cleaned, or
Painting a house.
he's painting his house. He
Yeah.
doesn't just call the
I
guy he
know I do.
uses,
I
right?
got competitive. I got bids when we had our house painted.
Yeah, you don't think he just like calls a guy and says like, "Hey, just paint my house." The guy goes, "All right, 200,000,
Yeah.
50,000 or whatever." No, he gets a number from the guy, and the guy's like, "Oh, okay." And then he might ask the other painter that he uses at other jobs to see, okay, what kind of deal can I get? May he paint the house and the garage? oh, that's a better deal. But he gets a
Yeah.
bid, a
Yeah.
proposal, no matter what, right? Why wouldn't you do that for yourself?
Yeah, what does
He's
it include? What does the whole
yeah,
painting include? Is it the garage? Is it the trimming? Is it, they have to be specific. When they give you
accent
a lump
colors.
sum, yeah, how many accent colors or yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy.
So right, and then in turn, he's getting bids from other subcontractors for
Right.
their work for your job. So if he's getting other bids and not just saying like, "Hey, ABC air conditioning is going to do it," no, he's going to get bids from ABC. He's going to get bids from XYZ. He's going to get bids from everybody, right?
Yep.
And then he's going to go with the most competitive for the air conditioning. He's going to do the same with others. So why aren't you getting bids from other people? I mean, then you're putting all your eggs in one basket. At the bottom line is he's not your friend. He's a good guy. There are really good guys out there. Not going to lie about that for sure.
And great salespeople. I wish I was a better salesperson.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No. So they're really good people. It's just that I mean, this is still at the end of the day, it's $1 million, and you're on the hook for it.
Yep.
And
Whether you do good or bad.
yeah, I mean, they're gonna get
Yeah.
paid, and they're gonna move on. So there's really no feeling. There's no emotion. Heck, from what we charge to what the cost of a building is a very small percentage. I
We
would say it's a micro percentage, but
yeah.
but still, the contractors will talk them out of using us, and then the people will like, oh man, we messed up. I'm like, sorry, you're too far on now. I mean, there's not much I could do for you.
Right. There's a certain point where we just don't.
We can't. We
Yeah.
can't. I mean, they're not gonna. It's gone too far. But anyhow, that's a topic for another day.
Yep.
So yeah, get multiple bids, people.
Yep.
I know that you want to go with the premier guy that doesn't bid out things. He's competitive, but put the shoe on the other foot, right?
Yeah.
How many times do you guys put out treatment plans to people that may not accept it, right? Do you pay for a bid? Would you be willing to give 4 or 5 grand to pay for a bid? And then they may not do the work.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's right. You might find
you lose
somebody
that. You might
yeah,
find somebody else that's $150,000 cheaper.
cheaper.
A
That's
hundred
right.
thousand. What's your cutoff? What would your cutoff be? To say, oh, I'm going to pay 5 grand, but if this other guy's, cost 10,000 more or 20,000 more, well, you know what? I'll just go with him anywhere. I'm getting a credit back for that. Or
What
if
if
it's
it's like $200,000
no, what if it's
less?
50,000 more?
Yeah.
If for me, if it's somebody with 50,000 less, I'm like, dude, it's worth the five.
That's
So if
It's two treatment chairs.
so yeah. So then you start wondering, like, yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
competitive bid to me the way it's supposed to go. But anyhow,
If you have any questions, comments, or we're here to help. We'll give you whatever advice you want, and we don't charge.
no, you don't have to pay for. You do not have to pay for asking a question or leaving a comment if you have something specific you need
Anything
to
to
talk
do with
about.
construction, we'll answer.
Yeah, we
We don't
don't mind
mind.
answer. I mean,
That's what we're here for. I mean,
we answer a lot
we're
of
here to
stuff. I
help.
mean, yeah.
We're
So
doing the right thing.
yes, I mean that's what we're supposed to do, right?
Yep.
And this is a place to vent. So hey, guys, we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.